Imagine a world where you were capable of remembering each and everything you heard. You sit through a 3-hour lecture and remember every single boring concept explained by your terrible profs. You attend a group call for a school project half asleep, but still remember all the tasks you were assigned. You survive an entire keynote presentation without the information going in one ear and out the other. And best of all, you can remember all those thoughts and ideas that just rush to your head where you're trying to fall asleep. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, guess what? That superpower does exist, and that all starts with these two devices right here, the PLAUD Note and NotePin note takers. And for those of you who are students, I'll show you how these can turn you into an academic weapon. Alright, if you're still here, you've probably caught on to the fact that this video is sponsored, but before you guys click away, you should know that I really thought these products were some sort of gimmick as well, as I thought they were trying to ride the never-ending wave of AI product launches, especially with ChatGPT integrated in them, in which all of us students love and use dearly. But yeah, because I didn't believe or trust in these products, I actually ghosted this company in my email inbox for half a year, well actually nearly a full year now, when they originally wanted to sponsor me. But as time went on and on, all my creator friends started to rave about this product, so I can no longer ignore this any longer. So curiosity got the best of me and I told them to send it. And boy was I wrong about these, because these have seriously changed my life. You see, just 4 months ago, I was deep in the struggles of final exams at the end of the semester while juggling the balancing act of having multiple videos that still need to be completed before the end of the year, in addition to my upcoming big half-a-month trip to Las Vegas for CES, the biggest tech convention of the year, in which you can actually check out my fun little vlog over here. Anyways, I actually just got my package for these devices right at the end of that month, and the first thing I ever recorded was a 3-hour session of me watching YouTube tutorials on how to set up my own server for editing. And I kid you not, my brain almost exploded loading up the Plaude app for the first time once the recording transcribed, which I'll show you later in the video, and I have actual evidence of me going crazy in my group chat. And then at CES, when I had to sit through multiple boring keynote events from tech brands, this thing managed to capture all the audio and summarize all the events for me, in which I could share with my boss and all my friends, who were instantly impressed and had to ask me for the contact and the booth information, which I later visited. Anyways, I'm literally just rambling on and on about my stories that you probably don't care about, so let me get to the point and start by telling you exactly what these products are. Let's start off the PLAUD Note, which is this incredibly sleek looking credit card like device, which is actually fully built out of aluminum, so it won't flex or snap. You get a physical button on the top to activate recordings of just the press, and just for this model, a switch to toggle between normal recording and phone call modes, which I'll get into later. It's kind of scary to carry this thin device by itself, so luckily they do include a MagSafe wallet-like attachment to slip the note in, which means you can attach it to the back of any MagSafe compatible case for any device you have, which is just so convenient to carry around. It even smartly has a cutout at the bottom of the back of the case for charging, in which this does unfortunately need a proprietary charger due to the thinness of the device, but at least it's magnetic for ease of use. You won't need to worry about charging this often though, thanks to 30 hours of recording time, in which you can actually keep this device standby for 2 months. And also, impressively enough, this is 64 gigs of storage, so it can record and save 480 hours of recordings, which is insane. That's like 20 days in a row with some quick math. The other form factor is the polar opposite, being like a small pill-shaped device, and instead of physical buttons, you have a haptic button right smack in the center of the device, which is easy to activate. Now, the cool thing about this form factor is the amount of ways you can wear it, with all the accessories that you can purchase depending on your needs. First up, we got a lanyard necklace that has a tiny little hook that actually hooks onto the device, so you can wear it like a necklace. But if you're not a fan of that, you can conceal it in a very sleek way by using a magnet inside your shirt to sandwich the device, kind of like using a wireless microphone, which is super sick. But if convenience is what you're after, there's a clip attachment that you can easily clip onto your shirt in just a few seconds, or my secret trick, if I'm outside, I can just clip it onto the strap of my sling bag, which is super convenient. Lastly, there's also this little wristband strap that you can put the device into and wear it like a watch, so it's always on you. So many different ways to wear it, and funny enough, I actually didn't really like the concept of the design, as I didn't think I would ever use it this way, and actually preferred having the PLAUD Note always on the back of the phone. But soon after using this for a while, I quickly realized that sometimes it's nice to not need to carry your phone with you everywhere you go, and just having this clipped onto your shirt allows you to move with more freedom without worrying about holding these devices. But anyways, for battery, it's slightly less at 20 hours of recording and 40 days of standby, but you still get the same 64 gigs of storage, and this charges through a dock that connects to USB-C, which I actually like better as it's easier to carry around. Now, at this point, you may be thinking, why wouldn't you just use the phone that you already have in your pockets? In which I do see your point, because phones nowadays do have excellent microphones, and a lot of companies now do include a recording app that's capable of transcriptions and even AI summaries. The answer is honestly so logical, and the answer is that you really don't want to be holding your phone with the recording app open for hours at a time. Not to mention the possibility of accidentally stopping the recording when you try to use your phone to answer, text messages or phone calls, or your phone dying halfway through the recording because of low battery, and just the fact that the software from Plaude absolutely clears any phone software by offering so many more features and everything you need in one place. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean with real life examples. Alright, for our very first example, let's use the one I mentioned at the start of the video where I used the PLAUD Note for the very first time, and this was actually recorded when I was building my NAS server system and watching 3 hours of NAS YouTube tutorials as mentioned in the title over here. So first up, we got a recording in which we can play pause.
1, 2, 3,
which is super cool. And then in the overview tab over here, you actually get to see all the key events that were generated during the actual timeline of the recording. So yeah, that's pretty sick. But if we move on to the next tab, we get the original transcript of the recording. So if we just scroll down, you can see how it accurately recorded everything and transcribed it. And I don't know, if I click on any point like this one over here, you can actually go back to the recording and replay that exact moment, which I find is very convenient. Clicking over to the summary tab is where all the magic happens, in which it generated a summary of the entire recording using the template that I chose. And I think I probably chose a lecture template from school because it shows course name over here. But the good part is I can just go in, delete, and edit anything that I want in the actual summary, which is actually really useful. So over here, it shows some keywords and all the key learnings. So it actually broke down, all the tutorials that I watched and broke them down into those sections, which I find super cool. And I don't know, if we scroll down, let's go to remote video editing of DaVinci Resolve. So section number 14. If we scroll down to section 14, which is over here, it actually shows you all the key points from that exact section, gives you a little explanation, and it even took one specific example from one video, such as Alex's remote editing setup. So it shows the steps that he takes over here, and it even talked about the Blackmagic Cloud collaboration from a different video. So yeah, this is super useful for referencing. And lastly, if we go to the last tab over here, this is great for visual learners because it actually shows you an entire mind map of the summary. So this is great. So like if we zoom in, it shows all your key learnings over here. If we scroll down, it shows the explanations of stuff. So let's say I want to look at number 8. I can click this dot, oh my god. There we go, click this dot and expand the key points, the explanations, and stuff like that. So this is phenomenal for visual learners. The second example I have over here is actually a phone call between me and my friend in the car, and that was using the phone call recording function of the PLAUD Note. So actually, if we scroll down over here in the summary, it shows the call information between me and my friend Jeffrey, and then it gives you a summary of the phone call and then breaks it down into sections. So over here, driving conditions and safety. So it was actually a big blizzard that day, which is really dangerous. So we obviously have to talk about that. I was talking to my friend about the NAS system that I was doing at that same time. And over here, AI note-taking device. Fenton expresses his amazement as the AI note-taking device, blah, blah, blah. He appreciates his ability to transcribe audio and his potential for creating blog articles. So yes, I was talking to my friend all about the plot because of how amazing it was. And then even generated a little next arrangement section over here in which Fenton plans to finish filming and editing a video. Yep, that was correct. And Jeffrey considers calling a customer to schedule a meeting. And this was all auto-generated from that phone call. So it acts as a really useful reminder of stuff. And yeah, this is just a super cool example of recording a phone call, and it would be really useful, especially for important phone calls for businesses and stuff. Alright, for my third example, this one was actually a recording of a workshop that was done over Zoom that I attended with a bunch of my YouTube creator friends from my creative mastermind, and this was from Matthew Dix, which is a legendary storyteller. So I actually chose a template that did theme and takeaways. So over here, you can see the actual theme of the entire workshop. So storytelling is a powerful tool that enriches both the storyteller's life and the audience's experience, which is true. And then it actually gave a takeaway from the entire call, which is super cool because it broke down everything into different sections. It even gives highlights and quotes that the actual person, Matthew Dix, was saying. So that is super duper cool. And I know a lot of people love to do note taking for that type of stuff. So over here, it breaks down chapters and topics. So if I scroll down to, I don't know, YouTube storytelling techniques, it actually shows you on YouTube, it's important to differentiate oneself by finding unique ways to tell stories. Yep, that's true. Gives you little steps that you can do. That is just super cool. And the fact that you can just reference this later after the workshop, whenever you want to, is super duper duper useful. And you know, like you just want to be in the moment of the Zoom call sometimes and not have to worry about taking notes. And this is where the Plaude does an amazing job for you. So yeah, this is super duper sick and just so useful because I can just come back anytime and reference this. For my fourth example, this one is an absolutely impressive one because this one was recorded in Las Vegas at CES when NVIDIA did their huge keynote releasing the RTX 50 series of graphics cards, and it was in a massive venue with a ton of audience members. It was loud, there were multiple speakers, and there's just a lot of technical jargon. So the Plaude had to do a really good job of transcribing the audio, in which it definitely did, because if you look at the transcript, amazing, it just got everything correct, which is awesome. So yeah, if I click over to the summary tab over here, I think I used a pretty similar template to the one I used for the workshop. And over here, you can see all the takeaways, which is some crazy technical jargon. But if I, scroll down over here, the fact that it can actually still like translate the technical jargon that they said and give it to you in like a bite-sized summary where you can just look back and see all the information and keywords is just absolutely insane. This would be super useful for journalists and content creators like myself. So yeah, that is super duper duper sick. And I actually haven't tried using AI on any of these for my demos yet. So I'm gonna scroll down and I don't know, let's say autonomous vehicles in the video. So let's click Ask AI over here. Ah, you caught me. All right, so I actually had to re-record this little segment because I actually had my mic turned off and didn't have it on. So as you can see, I asked which car brands is NVIDIA partner with? Boom, just like that. How does NVIDIA technology integrate with car systems? Boom, just like that. It just, I don't know. This isn't even part of the actual like event, and the fact that the AI could just research all this information and give it to you instantly is amazing. So let's actually follow up to this to show you guys in real time. So let's see. What do you mean by the concept of a digital twin? Let's try that. What do you mean by the concept? Oh my God, Apple keyboard sucks. Concept of a digital twin. Oh my God, twin, boom. And instantaneously, it'll read all of that and explain everything to you. Look at that. And it also gives prompts that you can actually click on. So I don't know, can you provide an example of NVIDIA's digital twin? Boom, click on that. And a couple seconds, oh wow, look at that. That is sick, man. This is so useful, all built into the app. You don't even need to go to ChatGPT or any other AI application. Amazing. And last but not least, this was taken recently at my school where I was working on an engineering project with a couple of my group members. And over here, I use a NotePin. I just, attach this to my wrist, on my wristband. And I didn't go into the intention of really recording anything specific. So I just kind of let it just sit through the entire time and let it record. So as you can see, a 3-hour work session over here. So I just clicked on the AI template and then it just basically showed you the entire overview, everything that we actually did during that time. So we were working with camera connection issues with the robot, power and connectivity concerns, and a bunch of stuff. So this is super duper useful for writing final reports because you need to talk about the process and all the stuff that you did. So just having this to document your entire workflow or to catch up a member, because we did have a fourth member that wasn't there, just being able to give them this document and just let them catch up on what we did is insanely useful. Not to mention giving this to your instructor or a TA who's overlooking this project. And let's try Ask AI one more time. So it gives you a bunch of prompts. Ooh, okay. Let's click on more. So let's say you need a quick refresher because the problem happened again. How are network and streaming challenges resolved during the meeting? Boom. If I click on that, it actually shows you during the meeting, the network and streaming, blah, 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 blah. The Apache server for HTTPS was confirmed to be running, blah, 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 blah. The team also ensured, yeah, that's super duper cool. And then you can even ask other stuff such as how does optimizing, or actually no, let's do what alternative methods to using a hotspot for network configuration. So if we click on that, boom, look at that. super useful. And I don't know, just imagine the amount of capabilities you can do. Like the AI, it's actually so much better than I ever expected from the PLAUD app, because I thought this would only be able to use the context from your actual recordings, but no, it can browse the web, and the fact that you don't even need to go outside to a different app such as ChatGPT or like your other whichever AI apps you use is just amazing. Again, everything all in one place. So yeah, I hope I gave you guys a good look of how useful these note-taking devices are in various different scenarios and environments, and just how powerful the app truly is in converting these recordings into meaningful, useful output, in which you can do so in 112 languages, not just English. You should also know that you can access the app not only from the device that's paired with the device through Bluetooth, but even other devices with the app installed, and better yet, through the web browser on your laptops and PCs, which is very, very useful. Also, I forgot to mention, but the devices don't need to be paired with the phone during recording because of the internal storage. And yes, you can have both the Note and NotePin connected to the same account and app for better transferring. And especially for long recordings, there is a fast transfer feature that turns these Note devices into little hotspots in which your phone can connect to it for super fast transfer speeds. And you know what? Let me actually do a live demo of me sneaking, well, not sneaking, but going into my engineering class and recording the whole thing so you can see the entire process from start to finish. Alright, I made it to campus just in time for my class, which is some comp-sci elective that I'm taking as an engineering student, and it's a stupid course about like human interaction and UI and stuff like that. But anyways, it's our final presentations for our group project today, so I'm gonna go in and wing it. And for my note taker of choice, I'm gonna bring the NotePin with me, and then I'm gonna use a magnet to basically stick it on my shirt underneath my button up so like it's more discreet. But yeah, I'm actually gonna be running late, so let's go. We want users to make an intentional decision to add a new task, and in this case, we're gonna select a one-time event. So once we go in, alright, class is finally over, and that was such a painful 2 hours stuck with those comp-sci kids, which are nasty because they all stink. Engineering's not much better, but still, comp-sci, crazy. Anyways, presentations are finished, and I managed to capture a, well, actually, no, it died halfway through because I forgot to charge it, but I managed to charge it for a few minutes, and it was actually enough to last to the next hour. So yeah, let's go transfer that to the phone and see what sort of stuff it pulled out. All right, so as you can see, the Plaude automatically connects to my iPhone through Bluetooth, and you actually have a fast transfer option. So if I actually go ahead and click that, it actually opens like makes this little thing like a hotspot, which you can connect to on your iPhone, and it just makes transferring so much faster, which you'll see right over here. So let that load, second, and boom, much faster transfer speeds, which you'll definitely need when you're transferring hour-long recordings like these. All right, once it's transferred into the app, we can click on one of the recordings. So I'm gonna choose a longer one over here. And then under summary, I can click the generate button right over here, kaboom. And then you can choose a bunch of summary templates in which there are just so much to choose from with different categories over here. And then you can even create your own at the very bottom over there, which is super duper cool. But because this is like a, I don't know, a weird presentation, I'm gonna click the autopilot and see what it does. So we're gonna click that, and then we're gonna click use this template. So we're just gonna click generate now. Oh, also you can choose your model over here. I suggest GPT-4o because that's great. And then there's a recording language and everything, and we can select generate now. So boom, and we can let that generate, and just a few minutes later, it'll be there. And boom, just a short while later, you get an entire summary that has been generated. So you get an overview over here. So yeah, this document outlines various projects and initiatives. That is very, very correct. And as you can see, it's basically separated every presentation into its own little categories. So I want to scroll down and actually find my own little presentation. So if we scroll down, yes, graduate student task management app. So yes, objective, aim to help graduate students manage workloads. That is correct. Lo-fi sketches iterated into mid-fi designs. Yup. So app prototype, we have a landing page. That's exactly what I said. Homepage with task curations, progress bars, easy to reach navigation. Yup. Priority matrix. Yup. That was a big one. User evaluation feedback. Interviewed 5 grad students from Queens. Yup. Future iterations, onboarding, calendar sync. Yup. That is all correct. And there's even more down below. But yeah, this is absolutely crazy because in a lot of courses like these where you go like give group presentations and stuff, you often have to give like feedback to each group, and it's often like in a sort of assignment or reflection type of thing where it's 4 marks. And imagine trying to remember every single presentation off the top of your head or having to write like handwritten notes throughout the whole time. Like that would have been impossible pretty much. And with this, you have everything literally structured, formatted, written out for you. So this would be an absolute game changer in that scenario. And if you're not happy with this like summarization, you can actually choose from different templates and regenerate different summaries to see like which one fits better. And best of all, if you think the summary missed something, you can actually go back to their original transcript, which is super duper crazy how amazing these microphones can pick up like actual text and transcribe them accurately, and like just find anything you miss, which is actually really clutch. But yeah, that's just one of the applications I can use with this little device. And my God, if I had this a couple of years ago when I was starting off engineering, who knows what my life would be now. I probably would have graduated by now and not failed a lot of the courses. But yeah, if you actually care about going to school a lot more than I do and attend a lot of the classes, this thing will change your life. I am not joking. You've seen it in person right now. So yeah, let's go back to the studio and close off this video. Alright, that finally brings us to the end of the video, in which I sincerely hope I showed you guys how game-changing these note takers are, not just for students, but for such a wide range of people that can make use of it. I've seriously gotten so many people hooked onto these devices, and it's always amazing to see their reactions when their summaries are generated for the first time, in which it's even more amazing when they're right beside me at the time. Seriously though, don't knock it until you try it out, and oh man, I actually really regret ghosting them for such a long time, because this could have helped me out a lot when I didn't have them. But anyways, if you're interested in one or both of these note takers, make sure to use the links down below in the description and pinned comments, and also use my unique coupon code for some extra savings. And as promised from the beginning of the video, Plaude is kindly giving away one of these note takers to 2 lucky winners, and all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below telling me which one is your favorite and why. And also make sure to use the words Plaude to make sure you guys are entered and they can actually find your comment. But yeah, good luck to everyone, and thank you so much, Plaude, again for believing in me to put out this video, and I had a lot of fun making it. And if you guys are still here, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to leave a sunglasses emoji down below so I know you're a real one. And as always, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe button as well, and check out all the other awesome content on my channel. But yeah, that is it for the video. Have a great one, guys, and have a good one, guys. Wait, which one do I usually say? Oh, whatever. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.